Hello everyone, my name is Stick, and I'm going to show you my run-through of the new 4.1 Abyss 12. You can try to follow along. Maybe my run-through will give you some new ideas. For my teams, I'm going to use the Monopyro on the first half, and then Raiden Hyperbloom on the second half. I actually quite like this team a lot because it counters uh, almost everything in this Abyss. For the enemies on the first chamber, we actually have the new boss, the Seahorse. On my first run through, this was actually very annoying because this boss has an ability to fly. And for the second half, we have the dogs and the Abyss Mages, but we can just lure them to the corner of the map or just brute force them all together. And for the second chamber, we have the Bishops and the Gardamex. They actually spawn in waves. The first wave is the Bishops, and the second wave are the Gardamex. This construction specialized Gardamex is actually very annoying, so I recommend bringing along characters that can enhance your interruption resistance. And for the second half of the Chamber 2, we have the new dancing boss, but unlike the old Abyss, it doesn't generate a cryo shield. So we can actually just brute force it all together. Spam your burst, skills, normal attacks, or whatever. But the main point of this is that it doesn't generate a cryo shield. And for the third chamber, we have the Mirror Maiden and the Wind Operatives. The Mirror Maiden is actually very thick, and the Wind Operatives are very painful. So what I do recommend is that you have to decimate the Mirror Maiden first as fast as we could, and then lure the two operatives together so that we can kill them at the same time. Because if we are even a little late, there's a chance that we might not get the 9 stars that we are hoping for. And for the second half, we have the new boss also. I wouldn't worry too much about this new boss because compared to the Mirror Maiden, it's actually very soft. You can just kill it with a little bit of ease. So without further ado, let's start. For the first half, we are actually a very good counter to the new boss, the Seahorse. That's because the boss has an Electro Shield which is very vulnerable to Pyro, Cryo, and Dendro attacks. So we're just going to spam our Pyro attacks, our bursts, and our skills until the shield depletes. This boss is very RNG based, as with everything in the Abyss, so don't be afraid to reset if you make a mistake or you have an undesirable outcome. So we're just going to brute force here until the horse dies. Though keep in mind of that this horse's ability to fly, because this horse has a skill that allows it to float in mid-air and drop 3 pearls. And unless you destroy all the pearls, the seahorse will levitate in the air for at least a while, or at least until you kill all the pearls. So for this second half, we can bait the wolves into one corner, or as with the first chamber, just brute force everything. But I do recommend that you bait them into the corner and focus the big wolves because they will become annoying later on if all the babies are dead and there are still the adult wolves standing. I would recommend to try and bring a Hydro and an Anemo unit for this, just to ease things up. Because in this second half of the chamber, we have Abyss Mages, Pyro ones. And if you bring a Hydro and an Anemo character, we can break their shields a little bit faster that way, and we can control them together. For these Abyss Mages, you can lure them into the corner of the map, make them blink there, or if you have a strong enough team and strong enough reactions, you can brute force them all together. Overload is very slow in breaking Pyro Mage's shield. There we go. 3 stars on the first chamber. Let's move on. For the second chamber, as I said earlier, these enemies spawn in waves. The first waves are gonna be the bishops, so we're just going to kill them as quickly as possible. And there we go. Once the Gardemek spawn, just focus on the bipedal one. The big Gardemek will just follow you around anyway. His spinning attack is very annoying because you can get sent flying if you're not careful, so that's why I just recommend bringing someone that can enhance your interruption resistance. Just need Beidou, Xingqiu, Deya. I have enough time, so I'm just going to recover my energy. For the second half of Chamber 2, we're just going to brute force this boss. Start spamming our bursts and our skills and normal attacks. And dodge its attacks because its ice attacks are actually quite painful. And beware of those Anemo whirlpools on either side because they can suck you in if you're not careful. Compared to the last dancing boss on the previous Abyss, this one doesn't generate a cryo shield, so we have that to our advantage.
Taking a turn for the better.
Let me lead you apart. Now you shall perish. Illusion shattered.
I have enough time, so like before, I'm just going to recover my energies for my burst.
Shine down.
A bitter pill to swallow.
There is no escape.
There we go. 3 stars on Chamber 2. Alright, Chamber 3. So, what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to try and quickly kill the Mirror Maiden as fast as possible so that we could quickly deal with the 2 wind operatives. So let's start. At the beginning, we're going to spam our controls. Mirror Maiden gets stunned, gets knocked back. We have a better chance of dealing with her this way. Be careful of her attacks though, because once you get marked, she gets thicker and she will be immune to all controls.
Everybody stand back! Gloves off!
Okay, so now we're going to try and lure these two together so that we can deal with them at the same time. And the control here is very useful. Alright, there we go. They're now back to back. And be careful of their attacks because their attacks apply like a bond. If you get bonded, their skills become lethal.
Everybody stand back! A gift for you. You asked for it.
Enjoy. Did I scare you?
Alright, there we go. We have enough time for the second half. So for this second half, we're just going to brute force it like we did on the rest of the chambers.
Remember,
This boss is actually quite soft, so if you have a shielder or a great healer, I wouldn't worry too much about its damage.
Shine down!
We're just going to spam our skills, our bursts, and normal attacks. Baiju burst here, Xingqiu burst there, then we go back to Raiden.
Torn to oblivion! There is no escape!
remember, help comes first.
And also, this boss allows you to jump very high.
Inazuma shines eternal!
You can spam plunge attacks that way, but with Raiden I would just recommend you normal attack. So there we go. Complete 9 stars for the current 4.1 Beast 12. If you made it this far into the video, I'm going to show you my character builds next.
Benny's adventure team, assemble!
So that's about it. Bye.